Alright. What day is it today even? It's Wednesday. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So today, hey Zealin, how's it going? I must say, Zealin, good job on Discord. Working hard. I'd say you've done a lot of progress. A lot of progress. And I've mentioned it last year at some point. I don't really remember when. But I said that you're like a year away from being able to work in the industry, like easily. And I would say you're still not there yet, but not far off. There's still some kind of like awkwardness. You could probably already work in the industry, but I'm talking about like easily. There's some awkwardness and mistakes in anatomy and so on. But I think you know also yourself what you need to adjust. You know, those little mistakes, process and so on. But nevertheless, cool. Very cool to see. I love seeing someone progressing and learning and understanding. And the same with provoking perch, also evolving nicely. His own unique style. Hey Krasgar, Bruno Romanos, how's it going? And Bruno Romanos posted an update to his spaceship. Lovely update. Good stuff. Alright, so we're gonna do, today's the last day for the machine. Tomorrow I'll start concepting the character. What does he look like when he's riding? Hey Javal, how's it going? So what I will be doing today, for the last I'll increase the microphone a bit. So I'll doing for the last time today is I'll do final candidates. I'm not gonna redo the line art because I think the line art is good enough as it is. But what I will be doing is adjust concepts a little bit, and most likely 1 and 2 I will try to manipulate into a one solid version, and that one solid version will ideally and hopefully be just as strong as the mono wheel, because the mono wheel, concept wise, I find it really exciting. So we'll see. Hey Stonic, how's it going? How is it going? Alright, let's go. So one interesting thing, hey Vidas, how's it going? Good morning. Good evening. Good evening. Come on, microphone. Chest here. ASMR. Hey Maxtronaut, welcome back. You've been MIA. Alright, so let's do a Frankenstein of 1 and 2 to combat number 3. Hey Amir, how's it going? Hey buddy. There's certain aspects of 1 I like, there's certain aspects of 2 I like. One thing I think doesn't work, which I will experiment with today, is removing these wheels. I think the wheels took it to the wrong place. Even though they are cool, I don't think it translates well. Oh, hey, Sonic, you got life drawing today? Oh man, juicy. I want some too. A strong coffee. A strong coffee. Yeah, that's good. How I am fine. It is what it is. The only thing you can do is move forward. Hey, Stiges Nereida. How's it going? Welcome back, Nereida. Glad to see you here again. There's some there's interesting aspects to this industry. I don't think we kind of talked about it. We touched upon it rather yesterday when I was talking about freelance rates, in-house freelance, and so on. You know, the comparison, the plus and minuses. I don't think it was yesterday. I think it was the other day. But anyways. The one Amir, yeah. Anyway, so I've mentioned this before, but there are so many artists that are like, especially they are mentoring people. Like they're mentoring people in the ways of the industry. To some degree, they are in full right to tell someone what to do to get hired. But I've said this before, and I'll say it again. They are usually senior, and they've been around for a long time. And how the hell do they know? What do they know other than what they've learned over the years and what's expected when there's a person looking at it? But they have no idea what it is, how this industry is if you start at square one to get hired. Because square one 15 years ago is absolutely astronomically different than today. Hey Fuxia, how's it going? So that it kind of irks me a little bit seeing these people telling others how to do to get hired, what to do to get hired. Granted, I am also giving people advice on how to get hired, but that's more general advice, and I always prefix it with saying from a certain point of view. But yeah, it can be quite annoying, those kind of people. And also thinking about the industry and what people do, and you know how people make money and all these things, and all the great ways that you can make money today on internet. So fascinating compared to what it was years ago when I started out. And it is definitely overwhelming, you know, how to get hired. today versus back then. And I'm quite sure also 100% the quality bar has moved, and it's not at all the same. The quality bar today is definitely higher because there's so many people around, and everybody wants to be a concept artist, more or less. Fuchsia, that's cool. Hey, Muska. Nice to guess. Stiges, right? So you were asking how someone with limited experience would be able to get internship at a studio like where I work at Opus Arts. Amir. What you gotta do is keep an eye on the studios where you want to work. Make sure you visit them once a month. They usually announce when they're looking for interns, or once a month you can send emails. I don't remember really who it was, but it was a lecture, I think, or an interview. I can't really remember the finer details of this, but I'm gonna butcher it and I'm gonna paraphrase it. So a long story short, this guy was wanted to work at a specific company. And he kept sending emails constantly, once a month. Sent his latest works, his latest updates. You know, asking, hey, is there a possibility to work there? Is there a possibility to, is there spots open? I would love to work with you. And he kept sending emails, keep sending updates. You know, where he is in his career. It's like, hello again, I'm back. Here's my latest. Here's my latest mech design or whatever, you know. And he started creating this repertoire with the people, right? The familiarity, and they also noticed how hard the person was working, how hard he was working, right? He really wanted to get there, and eventually he actually got hired by the company, just because he's proven himself, right? He got to the quality that they were looking for, and they even, as far as I remember, they even started critiquing his work, saying, you know, you should think about that, you should fix this, you should focus on these things. Nereda, there's a fine line between being driven and a stalker. Yeah, absolutely. One thing to remember when you're sending companies emails, that it's not company robot reading them. It is a human reading them, and especially in big companies, they are stressed and have very little time, and having some weird email or a wall of text and so forth, it's time consuming. So if you kind of like, if you're able to connect with someone in a professional and calm way, you know, like a cool person, that goes a long way, rather than being the creep or weirdo or stalker person, or starting to blame them for not answering emails or demanding things from them is also quite common. Things, you know, why haven't you answered to my 50th email? Yes. So to get back to that, right? So always contact studios. Always keep an eye out for their postings. Opus Arts, for example, we on the website we go out. We make a post on the website on job listings. You know, like, hey, we're looking for an intern, or we're looking for an environment artist, or so on. And you know, a lot of studios do that. They don't really, you know, go on top of the rooftop and scream, "Hey, we got a space free, please come." You know, they post it on their website because they assume people who are interested will look, right? And they probably do it on social media to some degree as well. You know, like, hey, we're looking for someone. If you're interested, uh, you know, FYI. So whatever studio that you find intriguing, or they do some cool project, or I'd love to intern here because I think I would learn something, and so on and so on. Keep an eye on their website. Contact them. You know, try to 2 times a year maybe update your portfolio and send it to them. Usually any studio, they go up and down in project effort, and by that it's like any game that are about to release, you know, as if you see someone saying we went gold today, you maybe have seen posts like that when they stand and hold a disc and say we went gold. Gold means it's the retail version of the game. They made a build of the game on that disc that is the retail version, and now that disc will be sent and they will copy it and it will become the retail game, right? That's called gold, going gold. So whenever you see on any studio that you want to work for, they make that post, in theory, it's already too late to apply for a job at that studio, because more or less what's happening is that they have a selection of coders and lots of QA that does majority of the work, bug testing, bug fixing, hunting down game breaking bugs or glitches or things like that. And all of the rest of the team is already on the next project because they don't need all that manpower hunting bugs. And yes, you're going to jump back and forth and fix some visual bug if you're a concept artist. Oh shit, we need a UI this or UI that, you know, and then you get to jump back onto the project. But most of the time, you're already on the next thing, right? And throughout the project time, it's like they put everyone on board. Usually, like when they get the green light, let's get shit done. And then when they reach a point of like a VSD1 or VSD2, which is a vertical slice demo, usually the second one, when they've proven all the game prototypes, you get a flavor of all the things, and more or less the whole game starts to come together. They usually split the team to start prototyping the next idea. A smaller team start prototyping the next idea, or coming up with ideas for the next, you know, like a little hub of people. They get taken off the big team and they go and work on the next thing. And then the more people that are done with what they need to do, and the project is going more and more towards completion, more and more people are going to migrate over to that second project. And then when they go gold, the whole team is switched over to that secondary game, which becomes now the primary game, and all men on board grinding it out until they reach a point where it's stable and clear and the direction is obvious. Then they split again and they start another game or prototype, and it repeats like that. So you want to hit the point where they split. You want to hit the point where they actually need new ideas or they need manpower to push it through. You don't want to hire people when they're in gold, because they're moving people around already, and you should already be there. That's as I see it. Hey Ricky, how's it going? I'm here, yeah. Go scream at the roof. Hey Mel. Nereda, yeah, absolutely. I mean, in terms of getting hired in the industry today, definitely go to workshops. The more professional the workshops are, the easier it is to get hired by a big company. And I will tell you why and what the difference is. Smaller workshops are great for the individual. It's great for personal growth. But the smaller workshops is going to be hard to convince a company to pay for you to go there. So the bigger the workshop, the more easier it is to convince the company to send you there. Meaning the companies will also send recruiters to there to get new people, because it's a big event and a lot of people are going. So let's say take THU for example, like Nereda said that she got a job through there. It's specifically designed a period of the workshop to showcase your work, and the recruiters are there specifically to find new talent to coincide with them ramping up projects and so on, or finding good enough artists so that they can sync them with a project after the fact. And if you're skilled and experienced, the whole timing on a project is arbitrary. It doesn't matter, because they know if you're senior or you've got the skills, they know that it doesn't matter when we hire this person, because this person is just going to slot right in and hit the ground running. And the more junior you are, the more hand-holding they're going to have to do to you, like give you a week to get assimilated into the IP. This is how things work over here, and this is how you do it over here, and this is going to be a lot of more, easy, softly, gently, while a seasoned pro, they just go, here's your desk, get going. And if you're seasoned, that's no problem. You just go, right, great, and you get to it. That's oversimplified, but that's the basics of it. So it's an interesting in terms of getting hired. That's what I'm saying is a little bit tricky now compared to before. But in the end, at the end of the day, skills is what matters. Skills and experience. And if you get, for example, help with skill part, being pushed, you know, into doing what for you to understand what's required of an artist that in the position that you want to be in. It helps a lot as well. So I guess that's a bit where certain mentorship things comes into play, I guess. But it's such a tricky thing to tell someone, you know, like you gotta do XYZ to get hired. But every place is different. Every studio has different culture. Every place have different mentality because the people are different, you know. So for me, it's a little bit of the what's it called? You know, the elixir snake venom guy. You know, selling a promise. Hey, Chokichukat. Motor vehicles, yeah, somewhat. Hey, Miguel, how's it going? Today is the last day of drawing these vehicles, and tomorrow I'll start with the pilot, the driver. I'm just trying to create the best option for me to proceed with. While ranting about shit. It's hard to say which one. I still prefer the mono wheel. Chocolate. That is funny. That's hardcore. Just hopefully you won't operate any heavy machinery because that doesn't sound good. Don't tell me like you're a school bus driver or something. That doesn't sound like a good idea. The thing is, like, I love the idea of this bike. I think in order to get really what I want out of this bike, I have to redraw it to get a new set of shapes. Currently, I'm like just messing around a bit too much, and that's why I enjoy now number 3 significantly more, because it's a the clearest, most straightforward design, and you look at it and you get what it is. I like 2 as overall long shape. It's a cool idea. I'm a bit unsure about certain elements in it. Exhaust pipe like that. Cool. I'm definitely leaning 2 and 3. Now 1 and 2. Chucky Chukat. It's a serious one. It's a daily one, at the same time every day. I usually talk about all sorts of subjects and draw all sorts of subjects. Currently, I'm doing a thematic one based on one of my personal IPs. But usually, what happens is I ask the chat for a topic and I draw the topic, or I sculpt the topic in 30 minutes. But today and the last week, I've been going IP, personal IP. That's where we are at currently. But it's very calm in general, I would say. It's not very... Hello everybody, here's your favorite YouTuber, blah blah blah. Second is sexy. A bit more fragile, I know. But the idea of the bike is a tunnel runner. Right, so the idea I had is the IP is based on lava tunnels and under a second world, a second Earth, inside the cavity of Earth, right, where the Germans and Americans fight in a World War III pressure suit environment, and I wanted to design something that runs phone cables through the tunnels, like speedily. This feels, like you said, a bit too brittle. It's like fragile. I think it can't have spokes. It's gonna have solid wheels because it's cooler. But it feels a little bit, I don't know. I'm sold on this one quite hard. And I'm gonna remove the guy there that isn't really visible. I'm gonna keep that thing, and I'm gonna put just the cable underneath and he runs the cable himself. Yeah, we're gonna go with the mono wheel. That design. Maxtronaut, if you go, what's actually visible underneath my channel? Let's see. You have the YouTube archive, you can go, but there's also a link to Firestarter. Firestarter is a magazine. Then you just go on Warmup. I'll show you. So you click the Firestarter. It's a community magazine which this stream is in conjunction with. Up here there's Warmup, which is this stream, as you can see underneath. You click that, and there's a Warmup archive. All the episodes, and you can see I designed a tank, I designed the alien creature from start to finish, more or less, and I also did the same for the tunnel runners. And in those episodes, I've also there's a VOD archive on YouTube. Diesel Punk, yeah. Stiggers, have a good one. Maxtronaut. Oh, cool, great. Right, yeah, so I'm gonna go with number 3. Tomorrow we're gonna start on the character. It's gonna be cool. Looking forward to it. To design the pilot or the driver rather, that sits. How he should look, what shapes he should have, and so on. And then when the character is decided on, I think I'll redraw the vehicle with him in it, adjust some shapes. One thing I know that is the body of it. I want the body to be like seen from the side, like a cut through. Is that I want here's the too fat. Here's the chain link. Here's the pads, whatever those are, and chain link, and then there's a body, and the chain link and the machinery goes inside, but there is this chassis or hull that's banked, and we can't really get it. The idea is there, but I want it to have a little bit of an edge to kind of beef up the shape a bit, to make it look a little bit more aggressive, and less of it's just tracks. You know, I want it to feel like the tank, the wheelhouse of the tank, you know. That's the game plan. My work, my portfolio is underneath the stream in the ArtStation on my website and so on. ArtStation is probably the most up to date. My website is not updated. Anyways, let's find someone to raid. Oh, Chloe is doing environment line art. Fascinating. Let's raid her. Hey, GenoLab. Goodbye, GenoLab. Right. So as per usual, I'm gonna do the outro and then take you to the raid. So don't go anywhere. Choki Chokat. Check the streams and you'll see. I used some references for the machines. Have a good night if you're that part of the world. I'm talking to you, late night drawer. Have a great day if you're this part of the world. See you tomorrow at the same time. Good luck. Let's go raid Chloe. Outro time. Toodles. No.